Morning, sweeties. I'm Eric Arias, and it's been a long week. I was supposed to make this video and talk about my first impressions on Genesys a week ago when the format was just announced, but I got extremely sick, and so I couldn't do it. I even tried to do so. If you saw my community page stuff, you would know. Yeah, it's been rough, but hey, at least yesterday I felt better. I played in the Farfa Invitational for the Genesys format, and I did incredibly well for relatively, of course, because it's Earthbound. And well, I'm very proud of myself. I feel accomplished. It's so cool to actually do well with my favorite deck of all time. And so today I'm gonna be talking about what has been going on in theory crafting with Genesys in the past week or so, and then talk about my tournament deck, and then I'm gonna be analyzing a couple of games. Well, analyzing, more like pointing out every single mistake me and my opponent have ever done, I suppose. So, let us begin. Earthbound, of course, had no hits, shockingly, but a lot of indirect hits. The main one is Azamina. Azamina here is completely dead. If you think about Azamina too hard, the police will show up and eat you alive or something, I don't know. I've never thought about Azamina in the past couple of days, thank God. So, Azamina is gone, your best engine is gone, and I honestly feel like that is relieving. For once in my entire time playing Earthbound and everything, I am finally able to be free from this engine. I love Azamina, I love playing it, but sometimes having fresh stuff is just awesome. What is not awesome for us is I suppose exactly Don Dragster to 20, because Baron de Fleur at anything higher than this would just make the format unplayable. It would just be go gadget Baron every time. Every single deck that can play Baron will just make Baron and nothing else. It wouldn't be that fun, but Don Dragster to 20 is kinda rough. 20 is 1/5 of your points. I suppose it isn't that bad for a card this powerful, and being able to play around breakers is nice. So like, it's a fair enough trade-off. The opportunity cost isn't that high for a card this powerful. And also I suppose you have replacements, but they're definitely not as good. A lot of generic synchros have been hit, and exactly these two have come back. I'll talk about first, Chaos Ruler and such. Chaos Ruler, man, oh my god. Finally, my boy is back. I love this guy. I've had a small period of time in which I was just fixated on, man, I wish I could go back in time and play Earthbound whilst it was still legal alongside Chaos Ruler in the OCG. Because looking back, that was so cool, and I just didn't get to play it. I was so upset. But now that Chaos Ruler is actually legal in Genesys, you can do a lot of fun stuff with this. It's just so cool. I feel like my next Genesys video will definitely be me playtesting Chaos Ruler, me theory crafting everything for this. It's just gonna be such a fun time for me, I feel. $50 is expensive, really expensive. Big opportunity cost here, but it's Chaos Ruler, it's my boy, I love him, come on. Of course I'm gonna play him. Then we have the less fun option, King Calamity, which I feel like is King Calamity Turbo is definitely gonna be like one of the better ways to play Earthbound, unfortunately. I don't like it because I hate not letting my opponent play. Like, I want interaction. I want Griffin revive every turn. I want that. But like, King Calamity doesn't let me do that. And like, this is the this is one of the more optimal ways to play Earthbound, so like, and I guess I feel like no one's gonna play this because it's not fun, and Earthbound is all about the fun stuff you can do with it and whatnot. So it's gonna be a fun dynamic, I suppose. And by the way, if you didn't know, King Calamity is at 1 because Crimson Dragon is at 100 points. So that with the 100-point cap, you can only play one or the other, just to make this more balanced. Okay, we can finally get into engines. First of all, Souls. I'm not sure if this is gonna be actually good at all, frankly. Preparation of Rites isn't that bad of a deal. Chicken Game is fine to lose. It's okay, alright. Souls is still good as an extension engine and has a bonus of free draws. But Arc Light is so rough. Same cost as Chaos Ruler. It's got solid impact. I'm just not sure if it's worth the opportunity cost though, of not being able to play good non-engine. Or, like, you're definitely gonna be needing one of these two one-card combos which cost more than 20 bucks. So I don't know. I think I need more testing, and I definitely feel like Souls has such potential. It's just kind of awkward to think about without testing. And of course, it's week 1. I haven't tested much. Then we have Allure Queen. Allure Queen is an interesting engine because you can play it both as this is just an extension engine that also lets you make return 0 by summoning Effect Veiler into Diabellantis into Dandelion, turning one of your guys into a turning exactly Diabellantis into a tuner, and then making a return 0 from there, and that gives you a negate for Nibiru, and you can pop off from there. But you can also summon, the combo here is here, there we go. If you want to pause and read, feel free to do so. Allure Queen can also be played with Magical Scientist, which is 95 bucks. I'm not sure if that's actually worth the opportunity cost, but like, it's a cool card. It both makes you immune to Nibiru and grabs an Earthbound and gives you additional bodies and takes your kid to school. And like, it's really cool to see actually, even though this guy just makes cold fusion. And also enables an FDK, which is here. FDKs, I love playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, there isn't much else to say here. You have the choice of a normal ass package or just the ability to do cold fusion, which is cool, at a high opportunity cost, of course. But I'm not sure if Magical Scientist will actually be viable, but I feel like Allure Queen's got potential. It's just way too damn bricky. Way too space heavy, and also kind of bricky, honestly, because you need to play the brick, you need to play Dandy, and you need to play Chaos, and Chaos is not a reliable extender if you don't draw Palace or Dance. So like, yeah, it's not great. The reason Allure Chaos isn't reliable is because you need to draw Allure plus Keeper, or I guess Walk or Sweep or whatever, and also another Dark to pitch. So like, that's a 2.5 card combo, except you need a specific card to send, so that's not great. As I said before, your 1-card combos are hit, which is rough, but not the end of the world, honestly. And I'm not sure which one of these is better, because LZ one card combo got nerfed, so the Rose one card combo, which isn't that great in Constructed, is actually way better here, because you can just make Black Rose and on your following turn summon Axel Stardust with Bramble and the Garden Rose Maiden in your graveyard for follow-up. Or at the end of a combo, if you have the leftover materials for level 6, you can make Crystal Wing by spending your Bramble Rose on reviving Global. And that is really cool and all. And this also kinda plays through Nibiru by summoning Vengeance Dragon, which is really cool. And now that I think about it, Vengeance Dragon should definitely be a one-off, not a 0 to 1-off. In every deck, it's just that good, honestly. By the way, this document, now that I think about it, you can find it in the Earthbound combo sheet. The reason for this is because I don't want my descriptions to be bloated with links and such. So yeah, every single link from now on will be in the Earthbound combo sheet, which is always going to be in the descriptions, so you know. Same thing with Amritaro one card combo, except the Shiren at 50. I really don't think that's worth it. You can use it with the one card combo, you can use it with Grief Package. My Grief Package is decent. It's not that, it's not 50 bucks good. It's good, it's decent. It's not 50 bucks good. Yeah. So I don't think it's gonna be great. Centurion, on the other hand, it costs a pretty penny. Not that much, but it's pretty good, I feel. First of all, because Atari alone in this package here, the smaller package, pretty much lets you play for Nibiru because of a similar line here. Like the first steps around here are literally the same thing. You're able to summon Crystal Wing before Nibiru and whatnot, so that's really nice. Where was I? Oh yeah, here. And if you want to have your package that can make return 0, you can still play the other Centurions for exactly $8 more, which is pretty nice, given you know, every a bunch given my brain is given Centurions are decently hit still, which is pretty cool. Then we have relevant engines. Danger honestly feels like it has potential because it doesn't require a lot of non-engines. So it being able to play Dawn Dragster, it being able to play its own engine isn't really that big of a problem for going second and such, because you're playing 5 to 6 board breakers anyways, and a Dark Hole and the Dark Ruler are really cheap for non-engine, so I feel like it has a bit of potential. The problem, of course, is that it's danger. It folds to Droll, which is super popular. It folds to Charmies, and not really Charmies. Actually, Charmies are a non-issue because in this format you can just deck them out, I feel. The only problem here is that this is not Dark World, this is Earthbound, so you can't really actually deck them out. You can try, I suppose. Then we have of relevant engines, just the two I already mentioned. Two Elements is dead, Azamina is dead. Other engines I didn't mention don't matter much, but these two are enablers for the better Earthbound variants, and they're gone, which gives you more room for fun stuff, I feel. And so these were all the engines that got hit These are some combo tools that I really don't feel like are worth going into. Earlier on in my Fury crafting, I felt like Allure Darkness could have had a lot of potential, but now that I think about it, it's not great, honestly, because your better engines aren't really happy to gamble on stuff and then banish a card. Like, yeah, you'd rather play more non-engine or more better consistency, like Upstart Goblin, which is free, I suppose. So you know, or just Small World. Literally, just play Small World. Small World is so good. It's unbelievable, and actually, I think I put free here. It's more like 0, 2, 2 to 3. Yeah, either 0 or 2 to 3 copies. I'm not gonna go over the core. The only real changes from standard are 1 Nova, because with the lower power of the format and less hand traps around, it's actually decently worth it to have at least 1 Nova at your disposal for the grind game, for very niche stuff like a Sinful Spoils of White Forest plus Gaia. If you need an Earthbound, Gaia can add a Red Nova instead of Vision, which gives you an additional name, which is really nice. Also 1 to 2 Gremlina and 1 to 2 Griffin, because they sometimes come up. And the Return 0 over Baron. It's not really shocking. I'm gonna fix Allure Darkness later. It's not as good as I thought it would be, sadly. Every time I feel like Allure Darkness is, oh hey, this is actually pretty decent. It's never good enough in Earthbound, sadly. Then here are some just viable engines. Necros is an interesting one. So like, this is, I felt like this had a lot of potential because of this combo right here, but then I realized, literally just play Centurion. Like, the ceiling is a little lower because you can't search Centurion with Centurion. Sorry, you can't search Centurion after you use Centurion with Kraken and such. But like, yeah, this is way brickier because you're playing 2 bricks. And you only have 6 total starters, maybe 9 with a Small World. But this is free, and you can play this plus Centurion alongside each other, so it's not that bad. It just doesn't do anything on its own, which is a little bit awkward for the amount of bricks it has. The only real thing you can do about this is to play 1 Clausulus and 1 Necros Mirror. But I don't think that's worth it, because it's 1 target and negate and that's it. So like, it's kind of, is it really worth the deck space? It could be, like, I don't know, if you don't need Catastor, you could play Clausulus plus Mirror. It's still 2 bricks, but at least you get to do something when you only draw the Necros side, which is cool, I suppose. A Shining Sarcophagus I feel like should be briefly mentioned because of Metamorphosis. This card lets you summon Gremlina. The problem is, this card doesn't have any inherent synergy with Earthbound itself. Like, if you start Keeper and they get disrupted, Metamorphosis isn't gonna extend, so it's kinda awkward. It can't extend, can't bait. I initially thought you could actually summon Infernal Evil to get Void Apocalypse into Yugioh. The problem is Infernal Evil needs to be sent to the grave for that to trigger. And well, you don't really have a way to send it to a grave after you use Metamorphosis on it. So it's just so awkward to make work, sadly. Package worth mentioning, speaking of Yugioh. Yugioh is excellent here. Valor and Impermanence aren't as prevalent. Valor is still pretty prevalent, but Impermanence isn't. So Yugioh just becomes way better if your opponent tries to disrupt it, and that's really cool. And also Yugioh and Mutiny are just infinite grind game. They're great going second because they protect you from destruction. It's just so perfect for Earthbound. The problem they had in Constructed of impermanence being everywhere is just not a problem here, which is fantastic. And this package also is protected from Nibiru, which is also really cool. You know, it's just awesome. I don't think there's anything else to mention here. Nope. So let's just get into my tournament deck and the changes I would do to it. So here it is, Blind Second, Pure Earthbound. So you might be wondering, why blinding second? And so the first answer is, well, okay, so long story short, I was deck building and theory crafting for this tournament with I Wish TCG. I'm sure you know them from somewhere, maybe your favorite Yu-Gi tuber. They do a lot of funny combos and whatnot, and they love Earthbound, so we just started chatting because of that. And well, before the tournament, they told me it's very likely that people are gonna be on a bunch of FTKs and a bunch of stupid floodgate stuff because it's best of one, and also because it's a Farfa stream. People need to do stupid stuff, otherwise they won't get featured. So like, yeah, I suppose that makes sense. So my genius thought, if I blind second, I'm gonna always have a good matchup into the FTKs, which isn't really good logic at all. Like, why wouldn't I just go first against the FTK deck? And my past self wasn't thinking straight, but it worked out in the end, so like, sure. And the actual good reason for me doing this is I didn't want to get hit by Charmies, because Earthbound has 0 plays into Charmies that get it anywhere close to being able to close out a game. And also I just wanted to get the additional card, because with Earthbound Fusion, with Red Nova, you really care a lot about card advantage, even more than usual, because those cards require you to pay a pretty hefty cost to be used. So being able to have one additional card at your disposal really matters. So this worked out really well. And unfortunately though, I never really got to resolve the funny play, which is draw Nova in addition to another Nova or one of your Immortals to make Kraken on your opponent's turn, and then just win instantly. I unfortunately never got to do that. I got to use Nova for Gremlina in one of my games to do full combo past disruptions, which was really cool. And so yeah, that was nice. Deck building, I don't think there's any generic stuff to talk about, so let's get into the specifics. Oh yeah, about the generic stuff for the deck, Droll was an absolute nightmare. Droll is cheap, it's popular because of wombo combo nonsense, and it screws over this deck big time. Literally everything in this deck searches instead of setting and stuff if it's regarding a spell trap. And by that I mean exactly Kraken. I'm not very smart. Like, I play well, and I just talk nonsense half the time. Which is why I re-record all my yapping videos 15 times over. So, Droll was a nightmare to get through because of Gaia, because of Walker, because of Sweeper, because of Chimera, Gremlina, Kraken. Everything searches in this deck. So yeah, playing through Droll and going second, trying to break a board, wasn't really great. So let's get into the changes I would do to this deck now. So first of all, DD Crow hasn't really been useful, I feel like. It's a bit matchup dependent, which is already a bit rough, but it's just not as high impact as the other guys over here. So, it's probably gonna be in the side deck for maybe some specific matchups, honestly. Although I'm not too sure. My first thought was immediately to just play a board breaker instead, which is fair, I suppose. Just play Dark Ruler. It does suck that you can't kill on turn 2 or 3. And yes, you can kill on turn 3 on your opponent's turn, and we'll get to that later. That's gonna be something I'm gonna be talking about for my tournament run and such. A DD Crow gone, maybe Dark Ruler. There we go, Dark Ruler. You could play Dark Ruler, or you could not. I'm gonna go through all the options first. I'm looking at my list from yesterday's first impressions I've had on Discord and whatnot. So let's just get through those first. If I remember something, I'll just talk about it. Second of all, Grasha is hot garbage. This never came up. It's so frustrating because this guy's floating effect surely has to be good. Like, surely for lethal, for something, Grasha has to be decent, please. And it's just not. I already played a bunch of low power formats and with Grasha, but Grasha is already a win, is always a win more card. Every single time I get to summon Grasha, it's just, I've already won. And if I summon Grasha, it doesn't matter most of the time, or I'm just not getting to it. So Grasha goes into the sun. I suppose I might as well put him in the side deck. You stay there, but you're not getting played in the side deck. You're there just as a placeholder, alright? Oh my god, it's unreal. Next, Return 0. Return 0. Oh my god. How much have I missed this guy? I'm very paranoid all the time. That's a bit random of a thing to say in a funny Yu-Gi-Oh video about my favorite deck. But I am super paranoid about stuff, and including Nibiru. And so Return 0 could have probably come in handy. Although the problem here is just, what light are you having in graveyard? Exactly, Risiela? Yeah, this is going back there, actually. I put it in my first impressions and such, but like, you can't use it very well. Oh well. Not oh well, but you know. Talking about less useful cards, these cards here just haven't come up in my tournament run, but they're still good toolboxing. They're still good toolboxing, especially the 9s with Walker and Gremlin and such. And also, maybe I could have, instead of maybe instead of Scarlight, I feel like I could have definitely played Wind Pegasus. I was playing this before I quickly changed it to something else. I changed it to Grasha, hilariously enough, in my testing. Long story short, essentially, like, I was 5 minutes, I submitted the list 2 minutes before the submissions closed, so I just rushed up my final touches to the list, and so I just left out Winged Pegasus. And it could come up eventually, I feel like. And also about stuff that could come up, I feel like another level 6 Synchro could have been better than Risiela, in spite of Risiela's utility with Synchro's Place of White Forest. Both it and another Synchro could have probably come in handy. Of the ones off the top of my head, Charge Warrior is not bad, Coral Dragon is pretty solid, but Mind Castling is something I think is probably just gonna be an MVP because it's non-destruction removal, and that's pretty solid, you know. Oh yeah, stuff to add. We have Chaos Allure Queen. It's still got the same problem as you know, Chaos Allure Queen in a big Allure Queen package. It's just kind of inconsistent because you need to draw both it plus whatever. But Allure Queen here is exactly to enable Aslapiscu to be used. So, you know, if Aslapiscu is an equipped spell, it still triggers, even if there's no field spell on board. And even if it leaves the field as a spell trap. Although I'm not quite too sure how often this is gonna come up, because that's a really specific situation, so maybe not. I'm not too sure, really. What I am sure about, though, is yugioh. Ah, why was I not playing this? It's this would have been so good, honestly. You know. Brain, please. Yeah, because it's just a free body and a free fusion. You could play Joyous Melfi over. Ironically enough, I feel like I'm gonna cut Winged Pegasus for not Joyous Melfi, Merry Melfi, and also Duke of the Mice. Yes, I will cut. I always like Vermilion way more than Navy, honestly. Okay, so essentially, yugioh is just a free body, free fusions, it's free protection, everything just super nice. And Mutiny is Mutiny. It's just one of the greatest Fiend support cards ever. It's just... yeah. The issue here now is that I really wanted to play additional copies of a quick play fusion spell. The options are, of course, Earthbound Fusion, the best one, Sinful Spells of White Forest, and Chimera Fusion. And the reason for me wanting to play additional fusion spells is because Earthbound Fusion and Sinful Spells of White Forest literally decided games. Them summoning Guardian Chimera saved me so many times, it's ridiculous. And speaking of, Guardian Chimera is absolutely the MVP of my tournament run. I could have not have done this if I were playing Ash Blossom instead of free Fuva and one Chimera. Like in an earlier build, I was playing free Ash Blossom and just wasn't playing Chimera. And then I realized, wait, actually back row decks could be very rough because they don't have the space for Duster, for Twin Twister, for whatever. So I slotted in Guardian Chimera, and oh my god, how good of a decision that was. Ash Blossom wasn't as that important, really. It was just good hand trap and cost 15 bucks. And the Guardian Chimera is one of the best fusions, best generic fusions. Like, it's one of the few generic fusions, really, and it's just so good, so much value. And that's the reason I just kind of want to play Chimera Fusion. Cutting one Uru, one Aslapiscu maybe? I'm not sure, but like this deck is so tight, you want everything here. And I kind of want the third Piscu to enable Nova a bit better. Uru is always decent utility, I suppose. You could play 33, although I'm not too sure. I'm gonna save it as is and then test more. You always want at least one Sinful Spells of White Forest. You could play 2 Chimera Fusion, that's 6 total. But I might as well play 7. Again, it's just I should do more math about this. and I will definitely be updating you on this list, what I will be doing about it, and if I ever do additional tournament runs with this, because I'm definitely gonna be doing this, because pure Earthbound, man, it feels so cool that this is actually playable somewhere, you know. In Constructed, pure Earthbound isn't great, because they can just negate your power cards. They negate Nova, they negate Fusion super easily. There's Ash Blossom, there's Impulse, there's a bunch of Omni negates you can play in Constructed. And here's there's not as much of that. You can play Ash Blossom at a cost, you can play Impulse at a big cost. Omni negates aren't omnipresent, and so it's just so great to see this variant of the deck actually being decent. Because well, all of your power plays aren't susceptible to your most basic staples and such. It's just so refreshing to see, and I honestly feel like this is the best variant until I find something better. Actually, that is how best variants work. They're the best until something better emerges. But I feel like this is a little bit better than Calamity Turbo because it does have extension to play through even if your base plan doesn't work. So it's just pretty cool, I feel like. Last note before I comment over a couple of matches. Aslapiscu was the absolute MVP behind Guardian Chimera. If you've seen the Farfa stream, I popped up there twice, and both those games, I basically burnt Aslapiscu or Geogriffin for game because I used Aslapiscu on my turn, and then used Aslapiscu on my opponent's turn, using Griffin to revive it, or just Earthbound Fusion to revive it, then using Nova or one of my fusion spells to pop it, and I would just win. It's just such a cool interaction. I love it so much. It's so silly feeling almost. It's great. I don't know. And well, editing area here. So I somehow forgot to mention the second Gremlina, which came up like majority of my games, and like she was the most important thing in my notes. And like I always tell myself, oh yeah, you need to play the second Gremlina if you're playing pure Earthbound, because she's summoned super often with both Nova and Harmonic. She just gets value in the grind game and everything, and I somehow just missed that. I can't believe myself, but like I suppose it's a little late, and my brain usually gets fried after that. After it's late. Anyways, I'm not gonna dwell too much on this. Let's go into the tournament games. Alright, so let's get into some tournament games. I'm only gonna be showing 4 matches because game 1, my opponent didn't show up, and 3 games were just very uninteresting. 1 game, my opponent just bricked really badly. Another game, I just didn't draw well enough for my opponent's 4 disruptions, and the last game I was facing an Exosister board, and not only did I have a mediocre hand, they also had draw. So like, yeah, those were really interesting. Just insta win. So let's go for an actually interesting game. This one you can probably recognize if you were in the Farfa stream, because well, this was one of the feature matches, and I was so excited when I discovered from a friend that I was on a feature match. I just felt so happy. So anyways, I have Nibiru and the Funny Play with Nova to summon Kraken, but it doesn't matter here because, well, Kraken doesn't do anything against Fire King. Not only do they not summon often from the extra deck, they also like their cards to be destroyed, so like, yeah, wouldn't be a good idea to pop them. So just Nibiru them, They use Karen to get Garunix. I suppose that's fine. Then Red Nova in end phase to summon Gremlina for more value. I'm just gonna talk when something relevant actually happens. Oh yeah, so here the reason Fire King Island triggers before Big Garunix is because it's a mandatory effect, and mandatory effects are always chain link 1 in a chain, unless there's other mandatory effects, of course, and then they're gonna go in player order. Now here you're gonna be seeing that Grasha makes an appearance, and he's just doing big damage, whatever. Oh, my opponent is very low. The problem here is just, well, this actually almost made me throw the game. Yes, too much damage made me almost throw the entire game. And the reason is gonna come very soon. This could have been a second Gremlina. She could have stopped for, and they would be at 15. I go Gaia, I grab Vision, make Vengeance, yeah, whatever. Now with Garunix on board, I take that opportunity to use Griffin to grab a Piscu. And now here is the awkward thing. With my infinite wisdom, I use Piscu and then Griffin because I told myself, oh yeah, if they have nothing, Griffin, since it's my favorite card, I would like to give it the final blow. What kind of reason is that? You would want to protect the guy that's more reliable at dealing bird damage, right? You would, right? Yeah, you should. And I didn't. And if I use Gremlina to crash into my opponent's face, this wouldn't have been a problem. Because I would have gone, oh well, I need to chain block Griffin to protect myself from Skullmeister. And well, guess what my opponent has. Very convenient. I would have fought a Skullmeister if it wasn't for Grasha. But they panicked so hard about Piscu, they didn't read Griffin's effect. And so I won, I suppose. Like, this just shows that Grasha isn't good. I suppose it was an accident, fine, but like, dude, only time he shows up the entire tournament, he just makes me almost lose a game. Next match, you might also recognize this one is far better because I actually break my opponent's board. They gave me one draw off Fuba loss, and it didn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things, really. And now, enjoy sitting through Memento combo. The funny play won't be used because Memento doesn't really care. Plus, they have a really good line into Charmies. So, like, why would they care? Yeah, it's... Alright, so, like, this is weird, honestly. Like, I have no clue why they didn't use Creation King to pop Line Walker. Like, there is zero reason for that, honestly. I guess you could do it later after you pop it, but like the only time that guy got popped was with Aslapiscu, and it was already too late to really do anything. And also they just Horn Dragon popped my 2 guys, which were immune, so like, yup. It happened! They threw! Well, not really threw 100%, but like, you know, losing so many disrupts because you just forgot to read a card. I mean, these are new cards for a lot of people because they aren't really well known, so like, I suppose that's fair. It just, yeah. When the cards have 2 effects at most, you might as well read them, right? And now you see, okay, it's gonna come up in a little bit, but second Geogrim comes up again for lethal. It's unreal. She's just that useful, I don't know what to say. Because I could have just dealt 2000 more damage and had Piscu be way more secure if they play around it really well or something. Oh yeah, also here a lot of confusion happened because I was just assuming they were using Akihiron's direct attack effect and didn't also instantly use fusion afterwards. So I got confused, I told them to walk it back, and nothing else really happened, just to clear that out. And now, the funny thing is, I completely forgot about Bone Party. And I think I was almost gonna lose, but like even if they didn't walk into Kraken like they did here, they would probably very likely just destroy Joe Griffin and I would win from there anyways. But like still, this was a pretty good game I feel like because of, well, the board breaking and such. And of course, Aslapiscu coming in clutch again. Aslapiscu burn is just so ridiculous, it's funny. Next match though, an actual loss. And this one was really frustrating. I had multiple times where I could have won, and I just didn't. Like, I saw Drawl here, and I saw Drawl here, and like, well, I and the 2 back row here, and I thought this could very likely be a combo deck that just bricked, so those back row do nothing, so, and I tried to go for it. I went Keeper Sweeper into Gremlin, Gremlin Slap, Kraken Slap, and I could have absolutely used Guardian Chimera. Like, what was I scared of? Sure, the back row wouldn't be able to be destroyed by Guardian Chimera, but I still could have had a chance at lethal. And even then, if I didn't go for it, I still would have Gremlin in rotation for Gremlina for additional value on next turn anyways. So like, I have no idea why I did this. And also, this was super frustrating. My opponent skipped super quickly to main phase. I was thinking on Temple of the Kings, and they just set 2 cards and went to end phase. So that made me walk into Verdict of Anubis. This one was frustrating because, like, what? I was just not able to think. My opponent didn't let me. I don't know. Also, I just didn't have any counterplay from there, really. I should have probably told them to walk back a little to me thinking Temple, but like, oh well, happened. And you see, These are the signs of me being tired. I draw them and then I used Fuelos, so like I guess no more draws. Like why did I draw them anyways? They weren't gonna search much. So like why? Just get the extra draws. Oh yeah, also here they couldn't slap Piscu because it's immune from attacks. Yeah, that's just what all immortals except Nova do. And also here, thankfully they didn't read Piscu because Piscu dies if there's no face-off field spell. So like they could have just set Treasures of the King and just let it and just outed there super easily. And I was feeling safe until they summoned Chorizo, whatever. And now here comes the frustrating part. I for some reason didn't Nibiru this. I could have Nibiru'd, they wouldn't have gotten the spin, so I could have gotten additional burn damage. And also, Redua wouldn't come back because this is an effect to tag out, not a cost to tag out like Lord Omega or something. So like I somehow missed this. It's like unreal. I could have gotten a better draw, but I just didn't. And I also oh wait, no. Oh yeah, never mind. Nothing. Yeah, my next draw was Earthbound Fusion, which actually didn't matter. Yeah, I was losing anyways. Okay, fine. If I didn't draw myself, I would have definitely won with Guardian Chimera. Ironic, I know, because I didn't use Guardian Chimera to win 2 turns prior, but like, oh well. This game was just so frustrating to look back at because I did so many misplays for just no reason. It's like unreal. And like, yeah, amen, patience. Last game though, I feel like this is just the best for last. This game is fantastic, I feel, because I broke a pretty decent board. Well, not a decent, it's okay, you're gonna see, it's like Mimighoul, and they didn't really set up much, like wasn't able to be dealt with Prison. This game is more so entertaining because I was so tired. This was at 8 p.m. I was just so exhausted from all the matches. I played this tournament for like what, 5 hours? I just couldn't take it. Yeah, they go full combo, whatever. I didn't even remember what these cards did. I just read the important ones that were on board. I also had draw. Ouchies. And well, it's very funny how they set my guys because I don't care. Now, my first signs of being tired, I used Piscu's effect whilst it was sent from hand to grave. How do you mess up something so basic? I was tired, sure, but like, that's not a good enough excuse. I don't know. And yeah, starting really well, but then just look at this. I tell them to pop back row and dungeon, which is reasonable. Yeah, that makes sense. Pop the back row you're scared of, and the field spell because you don't care about the monsters on board, because you're gonna be popping them with Piscu. And I told them, I am so stupid. Please brain, just back row. I used 2 from hand. No, you didn't. You didn't use 2 from hand. This isn't even like, oh yeah, I'm tired, I forgot what Piscu does. No, I just... this was one play ago. I just somehow forgot how many materials they use from where. It's just unreal. I mean, technically this Nova is illegal, and they should not have a dungeon on board like they do here. But I could have still OTK'd. I'm not even gonna be showing the rest of the replay. I'm just gonna tell you what the OTK line was without this Nova and without this dungeon here. So you start Earthbound Fusion, summon Piscu, use Nova, summon Geogriffin, pop these two because Master is indestructible for 16 damage. Then you use Griffin to revive Piscu, go battle phase, Chimera Crash for 15, that's 31 damage, a Griffin Slap for 80, my brain always confuses 5 with 8 and I have zero clue why, but it's like, but anyways, it's 56 damage. Then you use Symbol's Blizzard White Forest, fuse away Griffin and Piscu for Kraken. Kraken deals enough damage and you win. It just... I can't believe myself sometimes. It just... something so basic and I'm just a little bit tired and something so basic just slips in my mind. It just causes me to fail. I won this match because, yeah, I had a second Nova that made the line a little smoother for my smooth goblin brain. But like, you know, it's... this is the perfect match to end this on because it's currently 9 PM at re-recording this for like the 5th time already because I did a ton of mistakes earlier with the audio and such. So anyways, this is gonna be the end of the video. See ya on the next one. Peace.